understanding, because he had a different understanding of that hadith, because he said that bid'ah of 2 types, like Imam Shafi'i says, that there are praiseworthy bid'ahs and there are blameworthy bid'ahs. And finally, finishing on a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ in Sahih Muslim said, Man sanna fil islami sunnatan hasanatan. Whoever introduces a good practice in Islam, Allah Ta'ala will give him the reward for it and all those people that follow that action. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, Man sanna fil Islam sunnatan sayyi'atan. Whoever introduces a bad practice in Islam, he will get the sin for that, and all those people that act upon that, he will also be in that sin. If they commit that sin, he will also get a share of that sin. Now, this hadith here proves to us that there are good innovations and there are bad innovations. Someone could argue that the word sunnah here means sunnah, but that interpretation and understanding is wrong. Because in the first part of the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, Man sanna sunnatan hasanatan. Whoever introduces good sunnah. And then he said, Man sanna sunnatan sayyi'atan. Whoever introduces a bad sunnah. Can a sunnah ever be bad? Can the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ ever be bad, ever be misguidance? The ulama said no. So here, it doesn't mean sunnah, it means sunnah, and sunnah means to innovate, to initiate, to do an action that didn't exist before. And we see this in the lifetime of Sayyidina Khubayb. Sayyidina Khubayb radiallahu ta'ala, he was someone who was captured by the Quraysh, and he was in captivity, and he was going to be hung for death. He was in captivity, and there's a hadith in Sahih Muslim where the word sanna are used in that hadith. Where Sayyidina Khubayb radiallahu ta'ala was the first person to offer 2 rak'ah nafil before being killed. Never before in the Sharia of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has this been done. And the words used by Imam Muslim are the word sunnah. So from this hadith we know that sunnah doesn't mean sunnah, it means innovation, act on a new practice. And everyone today who is captured in captivity and is killed, they follow the bid'ah of Sayyidina Khubayb radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And if that was such a bad bid'ah which is leading one to the hellfire, do you think Sayyidina Khubayb would do that? Do you think he would do something that would go against the Sharia of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? So what we find is that there are bid'at, and those bid'at which go against the Quran, even we speak out against them. And those things that people try to attribute to Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, especially those things that are being done by ignorant people, then we will speak out against them. But those things which have a basis in Islam, like the Mawlid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like tawassul, like asking from the Salihin and asking from the Anbiya, like visiting Medina al-Munawwara, like commemorating Yarib Sharif, like doing Khatm al-Quran, like doing Fatiha. These things all have a basis in Islam. So now when someone says, brother, this is a bid'ah, it's going to lead you to the hellfire, first of all you should say to him that where in the Quran has Allah Ta'ala prohibited this? You should not be on the giving the answer. You should tell them to give you the answer. You should be on the offensive, not on the defensive. If someone makes a claim that this is wrong, then it's upon him to bring the daleel. Because from the qaida of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَمِمَّا سَكَتَ عَنْهُ فَوَافَى, from those things which the Quran and hadith mutawatir are silent about, Allah Ta'ala has made those acts jais for you, allowed to do them. So if anyone says the Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah are people who innovate things, then they haven't understood the aqwal of the Salaf, or nor have they understood the aqwal of the Khalaf. They haven't understood this hadith properly, like the ulama, like Imam Nawawi, like Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, like Imam Qastalani, like Imam Aini, like Imam Suyuti, like Imam Sakhawi. All of these authorities in Islam, they have said that bid'ah is of 2 types. Hatta ke Imam Nawawi said it's of 5 types. Now do we take the interpretation and the understanding of those Imams, or do we take the corrections of yours? I rather go with if they say that those ulama make mistakes, and scholars can make mistakes, I am much safer to go with the mistakes of those ulama than go with your corrections. Because those ulama were much more closer to the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and they had a better understanding of the deen than we do. Like Imam Sa'ad al-Din Taftazani said, he came Ghaliban around 7th or 8th or 9th Hijri. He said, in my time, ignorant people are saying that only bid'ah is one bid'ah. He was saying it in his time. And we are living in our time, and people are making the same claim that bid'ah is only of one type. But this was not the mawqif or the understanding of the likes of Imam Shafi, of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Imam Qastalani, Imam Aini, and Imam Sakhawi. These ulama understood bid'ah better than we can understand bid'ah. And these ulama, the interpretation that they gave, they said that bid'ah is good bid'ah, and that good bid'ah is everything that goes against and in accordance with the Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, and Asr. And bad bid'ah, which the Prophet ﷺ was talking about, are those things which goes against Sharia. He has no foundation in Sharia. Gyarvi Sharif, Khatam, all of these things, they have a basis, and our ulama have spoken them, wrote about them in their books, and they have given them dalail about the milad. They have given verses of the Quran. لَقَدْ مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِذْ بَعَثَ فِيهِمْ رَسُولًا. These are the verses. قُلْ بِفَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَبِرَحْمَتِهِ. These are verses that ulama give to talk about the milad. If people say, oh, milad was never done, Imam Tirmizi in his Sunan wrote a full chapter called Babu Ma Ja'a Fi Milad Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This word was existed in the 3rd century by Imam Tirmizi. He said, I will write a chapter about all of the ahadith which talk about the milad of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Every single seerah book talks about the milad of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And we, when Rabiul Awwal comes, and we don't limit this to Rabiul Awwal. Imam Suyuti said that every day we should celebrate the milad. When we talk about milad or commemorating the birth of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we mean those things and those scenarios and those circumstances and those events that took place when the Prophet ﷺ was born. Like his mother said, Sayyidah Amir radiyallahu ta'ala anha, that when the Prophet ﷺ was born, Nur emanated from my stomach until I could see the palace of Busra. So much Nur when he was born, when I conceived the Prophet ﷺ. And ulama mentioned, Imam Suyuti mentioned this in Khasa'is al-Kubra, and he speaks about the milad of the Prophet ﷺ. So when someone says that this is bid'ah, go on the offensive, not on the defensive. Say, brother, what is your understanding of bid'ah? And is your understanding in accordance with the ulama, like Nawawi, Shafi'i, Qastalani, Aini, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, who are authorities? If it's not, then you keep your opinion to yourself, and I will take the opinion of the ulama, because the Prophet said, Al-ulama warasatul anbiya. Wa aquli qawli hadha wa astaghfiru li wa lakum wa akhu da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin. اللهم ارفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا بما ينفعنا وزدنا علما وزدنا حكمة وزدنا فهما والحمد لله على كل حال. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا يا غفار واستر عيوبنا يا ستار زدنا رزقنا زدنا علمنا يا رزاق وارحم حالنا يا رحمن واقبل توبتنا قبل الموت يا غفرانك بعد الموت. صلى الله على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين. امين برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين.